I'm getting pressured to get pregnant because you won't give Mom and Dad any grandchildren. I'm sorry about that. Then hurry up and get pregnant. What's taking so long? Why are you crying? I'm the one that should be upset with all of this.
What the hell is going on?
Shut up! This is between me and my sister. Leave us alone.
Well, I'm Melanie's husband, and I don't like it when you criticize her. I can't just watch you attack her like this.
You're too overprotective. It makes me sick. I'm sure that you and Melanie's baby will be ugly just like Melanie, but a baby is better than no baby at all. What are you two waiting for? Hurry up and get pregnant.
Trouble Busters!
My name is Melanie. I've been having a hard time trying to get pregnant. I found out about 5 years ago that I was infertile and that I wouldn't be able to conceive naturally. My husband Ted and I adore kids, so we were devastated when we found out. But Ted was very considerate and just comforted me by saying that we could be happy together even if we're not able to get pregnant. Ted was the one that got me through the hurt of knowing that I might not be able to get pregnant ever. I feel very lucky to have him as my husband. I have a younger sister named Helen, and she's annoyed at me because I can't get pregnant. And that if I can't get pregnant, it means that there's more pressure on her to get pregnant. I'm already over 40 years old, and the chances of getting pregnant are more slimmer as I grow older. Helen's still 25, which gives her plenty of time to consider getting pregnant. My parents really want to see their grandchildren, and now that it looks like I won't be able to produce any offspring, the pressure's all on Helen. The reason why neither of us have any children. For me, it's infertility. For Helen, it's her incapability to stick to one guy. She likes to sleep around. Helen's a divorcee, and the reason she got divorced is because she had an affair while she was still married and her husband left her. Why did Helen leave her bag here?
I'm gonna have a word with Helen. I'm sick and tired of her taking out her frustrations onto you. You don't need this. She should be more considerate of your feelings. I'm not gonna let her criticize you anymore.
Hope it goes well, Ted. Thank you for trying to talk to her. 2 hours later.
I'm home!
How did it go with Helen?
It went well. She promised me that she wouldn't be mean to you anymore.
Oh, really? That went better than expected. It wasn't like Helen to be so easygoing. Suppose Ted can be very convincing.
Helen's not a bad person. She just needed some persuading, that's all.
I'm glad that you think so.
You don't need to worry about her behavior anymore. I think she was irritated because she has to live with your parents now that she's divorced.
You're right. That makes sense.
I think she also regrets cheating on her ex-husband. Your parents are giving her a hard time about it.
So that's why she was so irritated with me.
But she now understands that she shouldn't have taken it out on you like that. I don't think she considered how much the fertility treatments were stressing you out.
That sounds like Helen, putting her needs before the others.
She told me that she is going to apologize to you.
Ted, thank you for doing this. It was very sweet of you.
It's not a problem. I don't like to see you and Helen fighting, that's all.
Helen forgot her bag here.
I'll go return it to her now then.
That's all right. I can return it myself. You just got home.
I'm more than happy to, though.
You've already done enough for me already, Ted.
I think that it's best that I go. Helen's still trying to get the courage to apologize to you. She's probably thinking about what she should say to you. I think you should wait for her to make the first move.
I guess you're right.
I'll go return this and be right back.
Thank you, Ted.
You can eat dinner without me if you get hungry.
I'll wait for your return. I'd rather we eat together.
You don't need to do that. It's getting late.
Then how about we eat dinner now? Then you can go return Helen's bag after that.
But Helen might be looking for her bag as we speak.
I'm sure she'll be fine without her bag for a few hours.
I suppose, but I prefer to get it back to her right now.
See. All right, I guess we can do Helen a favor by returning her bag to her. That took a while.
Sorry that it took me so long. You didn't need to stay up for me.
Why did it take you so long to come home?
What?
It's 1 in the morning. I thought you were going to return Helen's bag and come home right away.
Well, I bumped into a friend on my way home and we decided to grab a bite.
I see. How was your friend? Did you have a good time? I was worried because you didn't come home for a while.
Yes, I'm sorry about that. I'm going to take a bath now.
Okay. I had a feeling that Ted was hiding something from me. I couldn't sleep well that night because I felt like something was wrong. The following morning, I received a text message from Helen telling me how sorry she was. She asked me to meet her at a cafe so that she could also apologize to me in person, but then she never showed up.
So you're telling me that Helen didn't show up?
Yes, she failed to show up.
She's so careless! It's so annoying! Who does she think she is?
Well, thank you for meeting me instead. I was starting to feel a little lonely sitting here by myself. Let's get lunch here. I heard that the food here is delicious. What can I get for the two of you?
I'll have the gratin lunch plate.
Nice choice. Wait a second. Is something the matter? Your girlfriend looks very different today. Huh?
What are you saying? Don't say strange things to make my wife doubt me.
Oh, she's your wife. I see. I didn't know that you were married.
I think you're mistaking me for someone else. Please, leave me alone.
Okay, fine.
Can you ask a different server to take her order?
wonder who she mistook you for.
How would I know that? Now, back to what we were talking about. I think that I might need to have another talk with Helen. It's not right for her to not show up.
It's okay, you can let it go. I'm used to Helen's behavior, and we're sisters, so it's normal for us to squabble.
I suppose so, but it makes me sad to see you not getting along with Helen.
It's not that we don't get along, we just have very different personalities.
Let me speak to Helen once more.
Okay. I didn't understand why Ted wanted me to get along with Helen so much, but I was tiring arguing with Helen all the time, so if Ted could fix this, I guess that would be better for me too. Helen and I are so different from one another that it's sometimes difficult to see things eye to eye. At this time, I wasn't able to see the real reason why Ted was fixated on Helen and I was getting along.
Melanie, let's get going.
The food here was great.
I'm going to go speak to Helen now, so will you wait for me at home? Why didn't you show up at the cafe like you promised?
I didn't think that it would benefit me from showing up.
Why do you keep doing this to Melanie?
Leave me alone and stop pestering me.
Melanie, take a look at this. When is Helen going to grow up?
Probably never.
I'll let you know how it goes.
First, I thought Ted was being genuinely nice, but now that I come to think of it, his behavior was pretty suspicious. Why did he care so much about Helen? It didn't make any sense. I decided to wait for Ted at home like he suggested. Oh, you're still here. Hello again. Do you have a minute? There's something that I want to tell you about your husband. Okay, you don't need to tell me. Hello?
Good, you're still up.
Yes, I was doing some research.
I see.
Where are you now, and when are you coming home?
I just finished talking to Helen at your parents' house.
I see. I assumed that you would meet Helen at a cafe or something.
Well, Helen lives with your parents, and I wanted your parents to know about the situation as well.
You didn't have to do that. I don't want to make a big deal out of this.
I had to explain to them why I came to see Helen in the first place.
I guess, but I wish you would tell me about these things beforehand.
Are you mad at me about this? I was trying to do you a favor. I'm saying the things that you're too scared to tell Helen yourself.
I didn't ask you to do this. I said that you'd done enough for me already.
You know what your problem is, Melanie? You give up too easily. If you can't try to get along with your sister, I feel like you won't take good care of our baby either. I mean, you're related to Helen. She's family. Doesn't that mean anything to you? I would be pretty upset if you treated our baby in the same way that you treat Helen. You shouldn't be so cold to your family, Melanie.
What are you saying, Ted? You're blowing this completely out of proportion. If we have a baby together, it would be completely different because we would be teaching that baby everything. Helen's an adult. She should know better.
I suggest that you work on your relationship with Helen first. You can't be a good sister. You won't be a good mother either.
Stop acting like Helen and our unborn baby are the same because they're not.
Well, to me, they're the same.
Stop interrupting me. I'm still talking. Helen is my sister and I can deal with her on my own. I don't need your help.
I don't believe that. You've been sisters with Helen for over 40 years. I've never seen the two of you get along.
Ted, just let this go.
I can't, and I won't. Melanie, you can't do anything for yourself. Let me take care of this like I always do. I'm going to spend the night at your parents' place tonight, so don't wait up for me. Good night!
Ted hung up the phone on me. Why was he getting so worked up about this? It didn't make any sense. I continued on my research and finally found what I had been looking for. I knew it, just as I had predicted. I was going to sort out all my family problems once and for all. I'm glad that you get to spend the night.
Same here. I love being with you, Helen.
I'm going to make this a night you won't forget. I'm sure that Melanie isn't doing anything to satisfy your needs.
What do you want to talk to me about?
Well, let me listen in as well.
Melanie, what are you doing here?
Where did you come from? I was hiding under the bed. You what? Can't believe you guys were doing it in my old room. You two are revolting.
Melanie, it's not what it looks like.
You can't deny it, Ted. I was under the bed for 90 minutes while you two were going at it like wild animals. I knew you were up to something, but I never imagined you were sleeping with Helen. How could you?
Oh, so you suspected something then?
Of course. I mean, you're obsessed with Helen. It didn't make any sense. Anytime you went and talked to her, you wouldn't come back until the next morning. I knew you two weren't just talking. And recently, you've been spending the night at my parents' place. You made it pretty easy for me to figure it all out. You're only using me as an excuse to spend time alone with Helen. Helen's always been a cheater. I knew that if you two spent enough time together, you would end up falling for her. And here's all the evidence that I gathered.
You filmed us? You can't do that! That's invasion of privacy!
How is it a crime to set up security cameras in my own bedroom? It's your fault for doing it with Helen in my bed. It's as simple as that. Is there anything you want to add? Now that I have hard evidence of Ted and Helen's affair, I was going to sue the hell out of both of them. And the person who gave me the confidence to fight back was that waitress at the cafe. The waitress, whose name is Sarah, told me the other day that your husband is cheating on you. What? He came here the other day with a woman that wasn't you. She had green hair like you, but her face was totally different. I think that my husband was with my younger sister then. They aren't having an affair, he just wanted to talk to her about a family matter. That's not what it looked like to me. Why do you say that? The woman was like, how long can we be together today? She also said if we don't hurry, we won't be able to reserve a hotel room. I didn't think that my husband was capable of such a thing. If you want, I can give you a video of the two of them flirting with each other. I can access the footage on the security camera of the cafe. I can sell you all this data for $300. And if you can give me an additional $200, I can give you even more juicy information. $500 in total? If the two of them are really having an affair like I suspect, you can sue them both. So paying me $500 would be like an investment. Okay, that sounds fair. I don't want to have to wonder later about the things that I could have found out today. Great, we have a deal then. Let me go steal the security camera footage then. That's how I obtained the first piece of evidence regarding Helen and Ted's affair. I took a look at the video just like Sarah had told me. Helen and Ted were acting like a couple at the cafe. The waitress working at the cafe provided me with some evidence, and since then I've been thinking about how I get even more evidence regarding our relationship. Ted, how dare you pretend to be a caring husband when this whole time you were cheating on me with my stupid sister?
Hear me out, Melanie.
I can't be here right now. I'm out of here. You guys fight this out. This isn't my problem.
Helen!
Melanie knows everything, so there's no point in you denying our relationship anymore.
I guess you're right. So, Melanie, as you can see, I've been seeing Helen behind your back. At first, I really was just going to talk to her about being nicer to you, but one thing led to another, and I fell in love with Helen's cuteness. She's so much prettier and younger than you, and I just couldn't resist. This is your fault too, okay? Gotten so old, and you don't make an effort to remain attractive. On top of that, you can't even get pregnant. What's the point in me marrying you then?
How can you blame me? That's not fair.
You're over 40 and I'm not attracted to you anymore. I realize that I need a young woman like Helen by my side.
I guess you can't do anything about your age.
Oh, there's one more thing we need to tell you. Helen is pregnant with my baby.
What? I just found out.
So I'm leaving you, Melody. I'm going to live with Helen and our baby. I'll pay you alimony so you don't have any complaints, right?
Let's get out of here, Ted.
Yep.
Now that Helen was pregnant with Ted's baby, I knew that I was headed for a divorce. I hadn't planned on staying married to Ted knowing that he had cheated on me, but I hoped that he'd have the decency to apologize to me. Boy, was I wrong. Couldn't believe that this entire time he was only pretending to be the perfect husband. Behind my back, he was fornicating with my sister. And now Helen was pregnant with Ted's baby. This couldn't get any worse. Am I dreaming? I hope this is just a nightmare. Following day, I received some divorce papers from Ted by mail. He'd also included his marriage ring in the envelope. So it wasn't a nightmare. This was really happening to me. From that day on, I got depressed and started drinking heavily, using the money that Ted paid me as alimony.
I think that you've had enough to drink for today. You need to stop.
You don't need to stop me. I'll be fine. Another drink, please.
Hey, Todd! Another drink for me too, please. I'm about to close the bar now. I thought you stayed open until 3 in the morning. There's a show on TV that I want to watch tonight, so I'm closing up early tonight.
Can't you watch your show here? We need more drinks. Now get back to work, Ted.
You're not gonna let me win today, are you? I'll watch my show in the back so you guys can make yourselves some drinks.
Oh, Ted's gone. I guess I'll need to pour myself a drink then.
When Todd's watching one of his favorite TV shows, he won't come back until he's seen it all. We're all on our own here.
Don't worry about it. I can do it. I spent the first year after my divorce moping around and drinking. 2 years after my divorce. Oh, it's Melanie. What are you doing here?
Oh, no. I don't think she's gonna be happy to see us.
Oh, hi, Helen and Ted. Can't believe it's been 2 years already. Time flies. How have you been? I've been doing well.
From the looks of it, looks like you don't have a new man in your life yet.
Well, it's Melanie. She's not very popular among men, and now she's the divorcee. I'm sure that no guys want to get involved with her. Hold on, is that an engagement ring on your left hand?
Whoa, so there is a guy that actually wants to marry unattractive Melanie. Or are you still wearing the ring that I gave you all those years ago? Because that would be way too creepy.
Melanie, you should take that ring off. That's creepy even for you. It's not the ring that Ted gave me.
What? Melanie, I just finished changing his diaper.
Thank you for taking care of it, honey.
You have a son now?
The ring that I'm wearing is the ring that my husband bought me. I met Ken at Todd's bar and we hit it off right away. After we dated for some time, we got married. We'd both been cheated on by our former spouses, so we had a lot in common and got along great.
You must be friends with Melanie.
This is my ex-husband and little sister.
Oh, those assholes? I had no idea that you were remarried and had a baby. I thought that you were infertile.
So did I, but I guess Ken and I are you're a better match because I got pregnant right away with him. Didn't our doctor at the time say that you could be infertile as well? I guess then that means I wasn't infertile after all. Maybe you were the reason I couldn't get pregnant when we were married. Not that it matters anymore.
I had a baby with Helen, which means that I'm not infertile either. Right, Helen? Helen, why have you been so quiet this entire time?
Oh, so this is the famous Helen.
Melanie introduced Helen as her sister. Why are you surprised now?
Is something wrong, Ken?
Helen is my ex-wife.
What?
Helen is my ex-wife.
Ah! So Helen was the one that cheated on you?
Yes, and when I found out about her affair, she ran away. She left the signed divorce papers at our house, so I had no choice but to file them.
Helen, is this true?
Well, I guess so.
Oh, and before you ran away, you told me that you might be pregnant. Does that mean you were pregnant with Melanie's ex-husband's child?
It all makes sense now. You were pregnant around that time. Are you sure that you're not the father of Helen's baby, Ken? I'm starting to think that Helen's baby is yours too. What are you saying, Melanie?
Is that even possible? I thought that Helen's baby was mine.
None of this makes any sense. When you and Helen began your affair, Helen claimed to be pregnant at the start of your affair. Now that I think about it, the baby's father is definitely Ken.
You have a point, Melanie.
The baby's yours, Ted. You have nothing to worry about. Please believe me.
But
We should test the baby's DNA.
Yes, we should do that. I want to know the truth.
There's no need. The father's Ted, I assure you.
if I'm the father, then we should just test the baby's DNA to clear up any misunderstanding.
It's just that there's a chance that the baby isn't yours, Ted.
What the hell, Helen? How could you do this to me?
I'm sorry, Ted. Please don't be mad at me. Let's just get the DNA test done. That'll solve the mystery here.
I agree with you completely, Melanie. Helen, where is your baby, by the way?
Well...
Our baby is at home waiting for us to come home.
What the hell? You can't leave a baby at home by itself. You're both crazy.
Why are you getting so worked up for?
Can't you see how inappropriate that is? Give me your home address now. I'm going to check on your baby.
Why would I give you my address?
Then I'm calling the police. This is child abuse. You can't get away with this.
Give us your address, you idiot!
After Ted gave us his home address, Ken and I rushed to Ted's house to check up on the baby. Luckily, when we arrived, the baby was sound asleep and it didn't seem hurt or sick. I think we should take the baby to the hospital for a checkup. We can also get the DNA test done there now, too. Don't take my baby. This isn't a big deal. Give me back my baby.
May I have a word with you, ma'am?
You called the police?
I received a phone call from one of your neighbors. They said that you've been going out and leaving your baby home unattended for hours. They said that you were neglecting your baby.
Who ratted me out to the police? The neighbors were right to call the police. What if your baby had gotten hurt?
You're not qualified to be parents. I'm gonna have to take you down to the police station for some questioning.
Is that really necessary? We didn't leave the baby alone for that long. We didn't do anything wrong.
How can a 2-year-old baby take care of itself? A young child requires the supervision of an adult at all times. I'm gonna have to charge you with child abandonment charges. Please come with me.
Stop it! Let go of me! Don't touch me!
That's right. Leave my wife alone. We didn't do anything wrong.
Did you just push me? Now I'm gonna have to arrest you for interfering with public officers.
Wait, can't we discuss this? There's no need for you to arrest us.
Let go of us. We don't want to be arrested.
After that, both Helen and Ted were arrested for their crimes. The police found out that Ted and Helen had been leaving their baby alone for hours on a regular basis. Ted and Helen were terrible parents. As a result of the DNA test, we found out that the father of Helen's baby was Ken.
How could you do this to me? You tricked me into thinking the baby was mine.
Shut up, Ted. You couldn't have experienced becoming a father if it weren't for me.
I'm not going to forgive you.
Helen and Ted got into a big fight, and not only were they shouting, but they also became pretty violent. From this day on, the two of them became hostile, and the people around them assumed that a divorce was imminent. I hadn't been in touch with Helen since the day I found out that she'd been having an affair with Ted, apart from the day that I ran into her, and my parents were reluctant about letting Helen back into their home. Please let me stay here. I have nowhere else I can go. I can stay in your storage room, please. The answer is no, and I'm not changing my mind. You've been a terrible sister to me. I don't owe you anything. What am I supposed to do? Ted is trying to kick me out, and our parents are pissed off at me. Ted knew what he was getting himself into when he started that affair with me. It's not fair that he treated me like this. What's unfair is the fact that you slept with Ted and stole him from me. I don't want to see your face ever again. Now leave. I'm your little sister. You can't do this to me. Well, I'm your big sister, and think about all the things you've done to me. What you did is unforgivable. Melanie, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I'm really, really sorry. After that, Helen became emotionally unstable and started seeing a new man to run away from her troubles, but her new man turned out to be a real loser and he mistreated Helen. As for Ted, he was struggling to pay back the debts that Helen had accumulated when the two of them were still together. Some loan sharks were after him and Ted lived a life of fear, worrying about when a loan shark would come visit him and beat him up. Ken and I decided to obtain full custody of Helen's baby and raise the baby as our own. I had no issues with raising Helen's baby. The father was Ken, and it was not the baby's fault for being born into this crazy world. So this is how I became a mother of two. I was in great despair when Ted cheated on me, but now that I've found true happiness with Ken, I'm grateful for everything in my life. Troublebusters.